Hey, how's it going? So, haven't made any real big review videos in a while, so I thought it'd be fun to do a Blu-ray slash DVD collection. You know how people usually do that kind of thing in their big film channels and whatnot, and I'm not. My Blu-ray and DVD collection isn't really all that impressive, actually, so it fits. Anyways, it's not going to be in alphabetical order, it's just going to be movies that I have in there out of order, just movies. Alright. Though, it will be in order of I'll do DVDs first and then Blu rays, so we can get that out of the way. So, my first one is Forrest Gump. A lot of people say it's overrated. I can see why. But I like it. And, I think Tom Hanks gives a really good performance. I almost said Tom Cruise. But, it's pretty good. It's cheesy as fuck, but, I like me some cheese. The Shining. A classic, one of my favorites. My favorite horror movie, in fact. Stanley Kubrick's one brilliant motherfucker. I just wish I had this on Blu-ray, though. Speaking of horror movies, The Thing. John Carpenter. Also a classic. Great special effects. They're pretty nice and tasty and juicy. But yeah, it's good. It's not for animal lovers, though. Just gonna say that. Saving Private Ryan. Spielberg. World War II. It's a bit different than some of his usual stuff because, it's gritty and realistic and violent and kind of grim. And most of his movies are very sympathetic and very sentimental. But, still good. Has a good sentimentality to it. Would recommend it to those who don't like violence, I guess. Blade Runner. Fucking favorite movie ever made. That's all I need to say about that. Waking Life. Richard Linklater is an interesting director. Like some of his projects, some of his other ones a bit meh. But I think this was a really cool experimental animation-based film, since the animation style was rotoscope and dealt with interesting philosophical ideas. It was pretty good. It's more of a documentary though than a real movie, since it's a lot of interviews about philosophy and all that. But it's good. City of God. Great Brazilian movie. Is kind of a Martin Scorsese-esque feel to it, but has a massive scope and is incredibly ambitious and pulls it off really well. Is able to introduce a whole lot of characters that actually impact the story and aren't just filler, and they're interesting and good. Has cool cinematography and editing too, and it's real fucking engaging. Check it out. The World's End. Love Edgar Wright. Baby Driver came out this year, and I'm gonna get that possibly when that comes out. Unless if it already has, then I don't know. But World's End, great, love it. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, perfect comedy duo. Really funny, and I really love the twist that it has in the middle and doesn't feel forced like Dusk Till Dawn. But they're not really all that similar to begin with, so whatever. Now You See Me. I haven't opened this up. This movie's fucking stupid, but I like it. It's really cool magic trick stuff. Makes no fucking sense, though. It's fun. Good Night, Good Luck. A great film about 50s McCarthyism and journalism and just writing in general. And about standing up for what you believe in and, what's his name? David Strathairn is incredible in this movie. Has a fantastically controlled, to-the-point performance. Fantastic writing. Really beautiful. George Clooney did a good job on this one. Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This movie fucking sucks, but I like it because it's stupid, and also Jim Carrey's in it. Look at his fucking smile. Look at his grin. His smirk. He's like, yes. This movie sucks, but I like it. Also, it's only one of the only Christmas movies I own, because fucking Christmas movies suck. The Prestige. This is a movie that doesn't suck. A good Christopher Nolan movie. Hugh Jackman, and also another Hugh Jackman, were great. Christian Bale, great. Everybody was pretty great. And had a nice twist, since, it's a Nolan movie. They all have one. It's good. Check it out. Now on to TV DVDs, which I don't have a lot, so I'm just gonna get through this really quickly. SpongeBob season 1. Fucking my childhood in a big old container that I just threw on the ground. SpongeBob season 2. I have the third season. I don't know where I put it though. Fucking wherever. Dragon Ball Z season 1. I had the other couple seasons somewhere, I don't know, but I watched like the shit out of this show. It's stupid, cheesy, and fantastic, and I love it. Also, look at his face. Beautiful. Anyways, now on to Blu-rays. First, I'm going to get my Criterion Blu-rays out of the way. For those who don't know, Criterion is like a kind of a preserves classic, great, brilliant movies into a very great like digital restoration with a lot of dink ass special features. I'll start it off. Terrence Malick's Days of Heaven. Beautiful, 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 beautiful movie. Saw this in the theater in New York about like 2 years ago now. This is where I first saw it. Fantastic. Bought it on Blu-ray because it is beautiful, gorgeous, and very atmospheric. Slow paced, but still good and to the point. Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. Also beautiful, but also probably the best World War II movie I've ever seen. Is able to be like super ass long, but is still engaging. Has like a million characters, and they're all interesting, which was one thing I could say I didn't like about Saving Private Ryan, which was had a lot of characters. Like some of them I don't remember at all, and I didn't really care when they died. Some of them I did. Whereas this one, I was engaged with every character, and there's like a million of them. Which is really cool, and it's beautiful, as every single Terrence Malick movie is. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. This is also kind of a falls into the Forrest Gump category of being overrated, or just like at the time was like, I didn't deserve all the Oscar nominations. Blah. But I like it because David Fincher is a good ass director, and probably his only like really sympathetic and very heartwarming film is a good one. I'd recommend it for people like heartwarming movies. 12 Angry Men. Perfect movie, like actually perfect movie. From cinematography to every single performance, writing, all of it is perfect. And yeah, like not really much I get to say about this one since everyone's talked to death about this movie, but it's like the best play made into a movie, but all the aspects about the filmmaking were also top-notch shit, my dude. Brazil by Terry Gilliam, yeah, who also worked on Monty Python's The Holy Grail, and shows him variety, because this is like basically a good comedy 1984 with brilliant visuals, really dark and comedic visuals as well, but very, very, very good. I'd recommend it. Really recommend getting it on the Criterion because there's like a lot of cool special features that give the context in the making of the film, and it's really nice. Check it out. Rushmore, Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson, and this is one of my favorites from Wes Anderson, but then again, I love all Wes Anderson movies, so... But yeah, this is a good one. Love Jason Reitman's character. Is it... Jason Reitman? That's the fucking guy who made Up in the Air and Juno. Never mind. Jason Schwartzman. Blech. But good movie. Great character, great performance, and great kind of character study. Very funny, very touching, very sad. But good movie, and it's very heartwarming at the end, like all Wes Anderson movies are. But not really heartwarming. Paths of Glory. Another Stanley Kubrick. Love Stanley Kubrick to death, as a lot of film people do, but I also do. But this is honestly probably one of his most underrated films. It's short, sweet, to the point, but incredibly impactful, beautiful at the end. I recommend it. It's very, very good. The Life Aquatic, also by Wes Anderson. This is another one that's really good, and it's got Bill Murray, who's on my shirt right now. But yeah, Life Aquatic's great. Has some really kind of cool visuals by Henry Selick, who did Nightmare Before Christmas. But yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's really good. Check it out. Now that's all for Criterion. Now on to actual Blu-rays that you can't see because the camera's not pointing in the direction of it. But you know what? What the fuck ever. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Uh, People say it's one of the greatest of all time. I would have to agree with that. I do have kind of one issue with it is that I really hate the pacing in this movie, but I can understand why it's there, so I'm able to forgive it. But fuck me, does this movie look good? Like visual effects wise as well. Like cinematography is also perfect. But overall, like legitimately, like I can't really think of any flaws like as an actual film that I can think of with this movie. It's like real good, yeah. Good Will Hunting. Uh, like one of the only Gus Van Sant movies I've seen and that I liked. And it's got Robin Williams, the late great Robin Williams, and he's great. So is Matt Damon, so is Ben Affleck, so is Casey Affleck, so is all the Mafflecks. But yeah, it's a great, fantastic, touching, beautiful little movie. Go check it out. No Country for Old Men. Also, I just realized you might notice like a little tag here. Most of these I bought at Bookman's. For those who don't know what Bookman's is, it's basically kind of like a retail store for reused DVDs and Blu-rays. But anyways, ignoring that, No Country for Old Men, one of my top 5 favorite movies ever made. Brilliant Coen Brothers film that's able to combine like slight bits of humor with like unbelievably grim, dirty violence, and it's gripping as and has one of my some of my favorite usage of sound design and editing and mixing and all that to like an effective atmospheric advantage. So check it out. It's really good. And it won Best Picture, so that's a sign. The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford has Brad Pitt, has Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck is fucking astounding in this movie. Like, really, 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 really good. Check it out. And it's got some of the most beautiful cinematography I've seen by Roger Deakins, who also did No Country for Old Men, which is on the floor right now. But yeah, it's a good movie. Check it out. Big with Tom Hanks. Now, this movie's still kind of cheesy, but I really like it for some reason. I don't know. I like it. It's got an appeal to me. And also, the piano dance scene was really funny. I like that scene. Drive by Nicholas Winding Refn. Now, he's kind of been doing not as much interesting stuff as Drive, but Drive is still Drive, and I love Drive, so you should see Drive. It's got, like, nice atmospheric vibes and has a cool soundtrack that at the time was actually pretty kind of revolutionary stylistically, and now everyone's like, let's add in synth music to the action movie because Drive did it really well, so we can do it too, but they don't do it well, so I don't know. But Drive is fucking great, and Ryan Gosling's in it. I love Ryan Gosling if it wasn't for the fact that this was in the way. Great movie. Now this one's kind of a 3-for-1. The Departed, Goodfellas, and The Aviator. I'll give my opinion on each one. Departed, great movie. It is really engaging. Leonardo DiCaprio is good. So is Matt Damon. So is Jack Nicholson. Is good. Goodfellas, that's also a good movie. I don't like it as much as everyone else does. Like, everyone thinks it's like the fucking, like, second coming of Jesus, but I think it's a great movie too. But I don't know. I didn't get as much engaged. I really love The Aviator, though. Something about The Aviator was, like, really, really impactful, and, you know, was, at the time that I watched it, like, it really left a mark on me. So, I checked that out. All 3 of them, actually. Lord of War. I haven't seen it yet. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Another Wes Anderson movie, but it's stop motion, and I love the stop motion style that he does with this film. And which is why one reason I'm really excited for Isle of Dogs. But yeah, animation is beautiful, like cinematography, and also some of the sound design was really clever in how they were able to do it for an animated film, since most animated films do it the same way all around, but this one was a unique style. It looks great, and it's really funny and heartwarming. Check it out. Batman Begins. It's a movie about Batman beginning, and yeah. I mean, I don't really know if there's anything I really need to say about this movie that hasn't already been said. Oh god, there's a little plastic. There we go. Christopher Nolan is a good one. Aspects of the last third are stupid as shit, but you know what? Most of this movie's great, so I'm willing to look past that. Superman the movie. It hasn't aged well in a lot of aspects, but you know what? I think it's really fun, enjoyable, good superhero film, and miles fucking better than Man of Steel, but that's just my opinion. 7. My favorite David Fincher film, and David Fincher's one of my favorite directors, or he was until another director, which I'll talk about later, but yeah. 7 is fantastic. The ending fucked me up the first time I saw it, and it did most people, so yeah, and it's great, and Brad Pitt's actually really good in it, and people who say it has bad acting in the last scene, you should go shut the fuck up, you know, what are you talking about? The Dark Knight, now this is a really good case of me believing that it's incredibly overrated, but it's still a very, very, very good movie, and one of the more unique takes on the superhero genre, and was pretty revolutionary for its time. Now, like, almost every single superhero movie tries to do what The Dark Knight did, so it's, in a way, like, it's important in film history, even if I think some of the acting's kind of shit. Alien. Love Alien. Absolutely love Alien. Ridley Scott did a beautiful, beautiful job on this movie. Scary as shit in many, many ways, and does it well, and it's not just generic and like, ooh, it's scary, ooh. I'm gonna burp just a second. But yeah, great movie. Sigourney Weaver's great. Effects are still actually pretty good, except for the ending bit with like the whole tail thing. But yeah, great movie. Jurassic Park trilogy. I don't know why I bought the trilogy, because the only one that's good is the first one. But then again, I bought it because I didn't see the other ones, so I don't know. Like, first one's still very good. It has some outdated aspects, but like those visual effects are mostly still like really good and very well constructed for today. The other two movies are fucking hot garbage. So yeah, I don't even know why I have this anymore. Gone Girl. Second favorite David Fincher movie, and it is great. Has some interesting kind of commentary on relationships and like people in general, and is fucked up as shit, but in a good way that kept me engaged and was not like Mother, which was fucked up for the sake of being fucked up. So yeah, it's a good movie. Fight Club. Everyone's talked about Fight Club. It's a good movie. That's it. Nightcrawler. One of Jake Gyllenhaal's most interesting and well-constructed performances, and is really, really fun to watch. Just kind of him rising up in the ranks of being this like photographer in the news industry, catching all the crimes, and it's really, really fun. Check it out. District 9. Now this is like one of those weird movies where it has a shit ton of problems, like fucking massive gaping problems, but I still love it regardless. Like, some of the rules of how the aliens work doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The ending is like a dumb bullshit action movie Transformers kind of ripoff, and it just ends so abruptly that it just doesn't work. Yet I love it. I just kind of love the interesting world it creates and the atmosphere and all that stuff. Kind of wish Neil Blomkamp could make good movies again, but I guess he can't. Can't do a lot of things in life. Where the Wild Things Are. I saw this when I was really, really young, and it freaked the shit out of me. Now I watched it again, like, today. I really love it, because it kind of makes me reflect on aspects of childhood and that sort of thing, and it's really, really beautiful and nice, and I would recommend it. It's not really a kid's movie, though. It's more like a adult reminiscing about childhood kind of movie thing, even though that's not what happens in the movie, but something like that, you know. Also, those effects for the monsters are actually really, really good. Like, kind of a mixture of a Jim Henson, but with some CGI where it needs it. So yeah, it's good. Godzilla the double feature, Godzilla vs. Destroyer and Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. I haven't seen any of these. Pan's Labyrinth. Everyone says it's fantastic. I can see why people think it's fantastic. I'm just sort of meh on it. Like, visually it's really nice, but I don't know, the story didn't really interest me all that much. Fargo, a classic, another good Coen Brothers movie. It was really engaging, really funny, but not as like dark as No Country for Old Men. It's good. Clerks, the only good Kevin Smith movie, because all of his other movies are garbage. Though the only one I haven't really seen yet was Chasing Amy, but I heard that was good. But a lot of people said some of his other films were good, and I don't trust them anymore because of it. But it's good and has like a very, like it has a charm to its low budget quality, and I like it. Also, this Blu-ray is kind of messed up on the back. It's kind of tore up. I don't know why I bought it like that. Whatever. Pulp Fiction. Everyone's talked about Pulp Fiction. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Now, this is one thing a lot of people talk about, and I'm kind of sad because I actually really like it. It's really nicely shot, and it's kind of one of those good feel-good movies that actually, makes you feel good and is entertaining. And Ben Stiller does a great job, I feel, even as a director. Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver is the shit. It's great. Robert De Niro. And I was doing it right. I was like, He is brilliant. Probably one of the best performances put on film. And it's great. It's got such an amazing atmosphere. That score, I want to eat up that score so bad. It's so good. But yeah, Taxi Driver is an all-time great. See it if you haven't. And if you haven't, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? What are you doing? The Social Network. It's kind of hard to see it because this is like the DVD version and it's like all black for some reason. But this is The Social Network. Another great David Fincher movie. I was kind of meh on it when I first watched it, but after rewatching again recently, it was like, hey, this is pretty good. It's got like great cinematography and uses effects in a way that I thought was really interesting and well done. And yeah, Jesse Eisenberg was great. And yeah, it's a good movie. Check it out. Killing Them Softly, a criminally underrated movie. Get it? Because it's about criminals. Just a second. Anyways, great movie with Brad Pitt. Has some interesting atmosphere, and the pacing is incredibly unconventional, and I could see why people hate the shit out of this movie. But I love it, because it's got really nice cinematography, great performances, and is interesting, at least in my opinion. I don't know. Like what you like, man. Come on. There Will Be Blood. Brilliant, beautiful, perfect piece of filmmaking by Paul Thomas Anderson. It's great. Daniel Day-Lewis is actually the greatest performance put on film. I will fucking fight you on that. Come at me. But yeah, this film is just brilliant in every single way. So is Paul Dano, and I would say Paul Dano is just as good. So fucking fight me on that one too. But yeah, movie is fantastic. Production design, cinematography, pacing, editing, all that such. Brilliant. Also, so quotable. Like, milkshake. Joke. Godfather. I was kind of scared when I first watched this because, like, people say it's the greatest movie of all time. It's like, it's not the greatest movie of all time. And then I watched it, it's like, hey, it's fucking amazing. And yeah, it's a great movie. I wouldn't say, personally, that's the greatest movie of all time, but it's one of my favorites of all time. So it's good. And Marlon Brando's looking all pouty face. Ooh. Anyways, good movie. Evil Dead 2, the perfect Halloween movie. Like Evil Dead 1, it's really slow and kind of boring in aspects, but it's got like a low budget charm to it, kind of like with Clerks. But this one is actually fucking nice. Bruce Campbell is the greatest cheesy B-movie actor ever. The effects are gloriously campy. And yeah, it's super fun and cheesy and it's self-aware. And it's still able to be scary in aspects. Check it out. Babel by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, who did Birdman and The Revenant. Good movie. Probably one of my lesser favorites from him, but it's still a good movie. It's kind of pretentious in aspects, but it's good. Ran, or however you say it, pronounce it Japanese way. But anyways, that Akira Kurosawa movie that's basically King Lear. It's good. I think kind of some characters are a bit unnecessary and make the plot fucking boring as hell. But it's beautiful as shit, my friend. It's good. In that aspect, at least. I thought the story was kind of meh, but that was just me. Grand Budapest Hotel, probably Wes Anderson's crowning achievement next to maybe like Moonrise Kingdom or something like that. But this movie is unbelievably great. Ray Fiennes, or Ralph Fiennes, or however you're supposed to say it. People say like Ray Fiennes all the time. Anyways, he is perfect in this movie. So is mostly everybody in this film. Cinematography is like, I do love me some symmetry. But yeah, this is a great movie. Check it out. And it's really funny. And it's really accessible, actually, I'd say. Top Gun. This movie's cheesy. Really fucking cheesy. But it's really entertaining. And has the gayest scenes of all time. And they're really fun. I like that volleyball scene. Whiplash. I don't like it as much anymore. I still love the shit out of this, but not as much as I did when I first watched it. But yeah, this is like good stuff from Damien Chazelle or Jizzle, I don't know. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Love Lord of the Rings films. They're all brilliant. I think the third one has a lot of issues, though, but I still absolutely love it. But yeah, these are all great films that define kind of a generation of fantasy films. And has great acting, great writing, and, well, effects that don't really age very well, except for maybe the Gollum effect, because holy shit. But yeah, this is a great movie, fantastic. I love the first one the most, for anyone wondering. They're all brilliant films, though. Swiss Army Man, one of my favorites back in 2016. It's really funny, really strange, yet is able to make its weird as shit concept actually emotionally, affecting. And that is something I cannot say about a lot of movies. And it really does something that I don't feel like any movie ever has been able to do in recent memory. And I absolutely adore it for that. Lawrence of Arabia doesn't say it on here, but it does say it on there. Lawrence of Arabia. This movie is fucking long, but goddamn if it is ever one of the most, epically big movies I've ever seen in my life. It is massive in scale and ambitious, and the fact that it was made in 1962 blows my goddamn mind. Watch it when you have, 4 hours of time to waste. Full Metal Jacket. Stanley Kubrick's Vietnam War masterpiece. And it's really good. Has, legitimately funny scenes. Even if most of the movie, by the end, is actually, honestly, deeply depressing. But it's a great commentary on the aspects of war and, what it does to people and all that stuff. But yeah, Stanley Kubrick, he was a good man. The Fountain, directed by Darren Aronofsky. I haven't seen it, and I feel like I probably will not see it for a while because of Mother. And this looks like kind of the same shit, so yeah. Boyhood by Richard Linklater. I like this one. A lot of people are like, it doesn't deserve it. 12 years making such garbage. Bleh. But, I think it's good. It has a charm and simplicity, even if I have to agree simplicity is kind of its downfall in areas. But you know what? I like it. It's good. It's got it's almost kind of a time capsule of my specific era as a kid. So, there's that. The Hurt Locker, directed by Catherine Bigelow. Another case of a movie that a lot of people think is really overrated, but I think is fantastic. So, I don't know. Is able to actually do, handheld camera work really, really well, actually, considering I don't like handheld cameras very much when a movie is being shown. I don't know. But it is surprisingly effective. It is really great, and Jeremy Renner's really great in it, too. So, yeah, that's that. Zodiac, the director's cut. Fucking Zodiac's probably one of my favorite David Fincher films, if not my favorite one. And this is great, even if it's almost 3 hours long. But considering the subject matter and how, big it spans time-wise, it feels fitting. And the characters are all engaging, and Jake Gyllenhaal is also in it. And that's always an A+ in my opinion, and you kind of have to hold it like this. It's like an envelope from CF Chronicle. And it's a great movie. Recommend it for people who like kind of serial killer, forensics-based films. Dune. This is the only David Lynch film I have, and I have no clue why. I really should get that, Eraserhead criterion at some point. But I have a fascination with Dune, because it's fucking abysmal, but I like it so much. Something about its kind of misguided vision is so engaging, in my opinion, for some reason, and also the fact that when I watched this in a theater during a kind of David Lynch marathon at like a local indie movie theater, everybody in the theater was just like laughing at every line of dialogue halfway through the movie, and it was really funny. And in all honesty, this movie actually is really funny. It has actually good aspects. It's just there's a lot of shitty ones that kind of overshadow them. But you know what? I enjoy it. So, fucking whatever. Heat, directed by Michael Mann. A great, great crime thriller movie. It's a bit too long in my opinion, but it's still undeniably like amazingly well crafted. And Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, which almost rhymes. Oh, actually, kind of does. No, okay. But both of them are great. It was kind of the first movie with both of them in it. And, you know, it's a good, great one. And it has nice-ass shots of LA. Guardians of the Galaxy. I wish I had the second one, because I like this, but I think it's okay in parts. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, though, is good shit. Really good shit, actually. But, you know, this will do for now. Raging Bull. Another great Martin Scorsese movie. Great black and white photography, and Robert De Niro, again, like freaking always, most of the time at least, is a powerhouse performance in this movie, literally, since he is boxing, so he has to be powerful, but it's a great movie, and would recommend it. Gangs of New York, Martin Scorsese movie. I haven't actually seen it yet, though, so maybe I'll watch it when his, like, new film, The Irishman, comes out, whenever that comes out. I don't know. And Lego Movie. Probably the best animated film of this decade, I would have to say, because Jesus Christ, is that animation like super nice, but also has a great story, and is essentially a kid's version of the Holy Mountain, which I think is hilarious. Interstellar. Now, this movie is weird with me, because when I first watched it, like, when it came out, I thought it was fucking awful. Like, I really did not like this movie whatsoever. Thought it was boring, had, like, great filmmaking and acting, but, like, the story was god-awful. Watched it again, like, in another theater when it was showing in 70mm, like, hey, this is, you know, it's actually good. You know, not great or anything, but I think it's good. I watched it on my computer once, and thought it was amazing. I have no clue why. Like, something about it just clicked with me this time, and I feel like maybe just because it's Christopher Nolan's more emotionally resonant film. And fuck! I dropped my movies. I thought it was more emotionally resonant, and performances are great. Aspects of the story kind of stupid, but in all honesty, I'm able to look past that, because, you know, something about it is really effective, in my opinion. It's a good movie. Also, there's a little thing you might notice in the back of me, like a little black square. That was actually a piece of the IMAX film reel that they had, that they put in some of the Blu-rays, and it was one of these. And that was cool. Birdman. I saw this at the age of like 13, I think. And this movie honestly changed my life. Made me really interested in the aspects of filmmaking that I did not really pay attention to all that much when I was younger. And is like super meta as shit, and I love it. I love this movie to death. Even if they took out the one-take aspect, I feel like I would still love the shit out of this movie, because Michael Keaton, Edward Norton, Emma Stone, Zach Galifianakis, and Naomi Watts. Everybody's great. Direction's great. Cinematography's great. Everything's great. I love this movie because it's great. Speaking of great, Moonlight, my favorite movie from 2016. You may see the list that said Silence, but guess what? I made that list a bit too early to really think about it. So Silence is more like a number 11 now. But Moonlight's my favorite because it's beautiful, is able to do like a lot of stuff with its character that most movies don't usually do, that I feel was interesting. Kind of like the seeing it through 3 different stages in its life, in his life. And yeah, just like it's so, like the filmmaking behind it, something about it is just so resonant in its feeling and like color grading and soundtrack and just the performance of the characters. Just has this specific feel that I think is unpinnable of what it really does, and it's a masterpiece. Barry Jenkins is a pretty dank director, even if I've only seen that from him. The New World by Terrence Malick, the extended edition, is a very good movie. I don't really prefer it compared to his other films, But it's still a really fantastic movie, and Colin Farrell's a nice boy in this. But yeah, Terrence Malick movie, and it's beautiful because it's basically every single Terrence Malick movie looks really nice because nature and that shit. And speaking of Terrence Malick, Knight of Cups. Now, this is probably my second least favorite of his films. My least favorite was Song to Song because that was god awful. But Knight of Cups, I actually kind of enjoy. Like, I like his calm, peaceful style that's not like super bombastic and crazy, but more just like, you know, kind of relaxed. It's brought down to earth, but it's very kind of surrealist, even in some filmmaking ways. But I like it. I like it a lot. It's nice. It's not great though, because I think it's kind of shit. The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. The Hobbit movies are kind of bad, but guess what? I like this one. Something about this one kind of was, at the time for me, very important in my life, because I was big on Lord of the Rings when I was younger and this was coming out, and you know what? This gave me what I wanted, and I was happy with it, and it satisfied me, unlike the other movies, which are pieces of shit. Her, by Spike Jonze, who also did Where the Wild Things Are. Probably his best movie. It's wonderful, sad, beautiful, thought-provoking, and brings in a lot of like ideas about the future that I never thought about until this came out, and is really, really good. Check it out. Prisoners, by my favorite director at this point in time, Denis Villeneuve. And I am super sad that I don't have any of his other films, because I fucking love Arrival, I love Sicario, Ain Zombie is good. Most of his other movies are great. I love them all, especially Polytechnique. I wish I could get that if there wasn't made in fucking French Canada, so I'd probably have to get a region-free Blu-ray player, but you know what? Prisoner's great. It's like a kind of modern day Seven, and has interesting filmmaking aspects, and is beautifully shot by the late great, no, he's not dead. Great Roger Deakins. He's not dead. But this movie is not dead either, because it's fantastic as shit. And so is Hugh Jackman. And guess what? Hey, look, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. Just sick in his nose. Anyways, Lost in Translation, one of my favorites. Bill Murray, again, is great. This is directed by Sofia Coppola, actually, this daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, who made Godfather, who has made some good movies. But Lost in Translation was one of those films that kind of gave me the real feeling of traveling to a place that you've never been to and being alienated by the environment is great. I love it. It's very atmospheric and funny, and is very, you know, emotional in ways I never thought of. It's great. I would recommend it very much. The Shawshank Redemption, another case of a movie people consider to be one of the greatest of all time, and it's one of my favorites too. I love it. It's brilliant, and I wish Frank Darabont was able to get more work, mostly because people fucked him out of The Walking Dead, but whatever. Tim Robbins is great. I almost said Tim Roth. Tim Robbins is great, so is Morgan Freeman, who does probably one of his best roles ever. It's one of the most inspiring movies I've probably ever seen, like, kind of inspirational, motivational films, and is kind of just, yeah, it's just a classic. It's just a classic. See it. And my last film is The Revenant, directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, who did Birdman. This is like, I would consider this one to be one of the best films of the current decade. This movie is like unbelievable in like what it's able to do with so little, like fucking natural lighting, one take action sequences without much CGI. Like, what the fuck? How are you able to do that? But he did it. Well, I guess there was some CGI for the bear, but anyways, the movie is like an absolute masterpiece, and a lot of people say it's boring or they just think it's really pretentious, and I can see why. But for me, I will never not get sucked into this movie every time I watch it. It's just so great. Fucking love it. But that's it for my Blu-rays, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I may possibly do this again another time when I have more Blu-rays, but that might be a while because I don't have a lot of Blu-rays. So, I hope you liked this video. And bye. And you can see all the Blu-rays behind me. This is how I live.